Welcome to SATV News. This is Nouri Alamin with our headlines. Government sets office hour from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Market to be shut by 6 p.m. Prices of vegetables rise once again. Chicken hits Taka 800 per kg. Ship carrying 27,300 tons of diesel arrived from Singapore. Two other carrying LPG and LNG reached Chattogram port earlier. Now in details. The government has announced a series of austerity measures, including shorter office hour, early market closure, and spending cut to conserve energy and manage the evolving situation triggered by the Middle East conflict. The decisions were taken at a cabinet meeting chaired by Prime Minister Tariq Rahman at the National Parliament on Thursday. Cabinet Secretary Nasimul Goni during the late-night press briefing yesterday. He also said the meeting was held at the Parliament complex under special circumstances to save time, as the Prime Minister is currently working extended hours amid the crisis. Under the new directive, all government and private offices will operate from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. from the next working day, reducing working hour by 1 hour. Banks will provide customer services from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with internal operation continuing until 4 p.m. To reduce fuel and electricity consumption, all markets, shops and shopping malls across the country must close after 6 p.m. However, essential service including kitchen, market, pharmacies and food outlet will remain exempt. The government has also ordered a 30% reduction in expenditure in fuel, power and gas sectors as well. Prices of essential commodities including loaves, edible oil, poultry, meat and vegetables have risen notably in Dhaka retail market following Eid, driven by higher transportation cost and supply constraints. A visit to several kitchen markets to the capital showed a broad increase in the prices week over the past week, with some time rising as by much Taka 50 per kilogram. The most significant increases have been ordered in poultry, particularly Sonali and local chicken. The local chicken is now selling at up to Taka 800 per kg compared to Taka 600 to 650 before it. Similarly, Sonali chicken prices have surged around Taka 420 per kg from Taka 300 to 320. Broiler chicken prices risen more moderately, increasing from Taka 170 to Taka 200 to 220 per kg. Beef, which sold at around Taka 750 per kg a week ago, is now priced between Taka 820 to 850. Mutton is selling approximately 1200 per kg. Loose soybean oil is selling now Taka 195 to 200 per liter, up to Taka 185 to 190 earlier week. Vegetable prices have also edged up, with most items increasing by Taka 5 to 10 per kg. Staple items such as potato, onion remain stable, selling Taka 20 to 25 and Taka 30 to 40 per kg. A vessel from Singapore has arrived at Chattogram port with 27,300 tons of diesel. The ship was docked at the Dolphin Jetty this afternoon, said the assistant manager of Bangladesh Petroleum Corporation. This is the 9th ship to arrive at Chattogram port since the conflict in the Middle East began. Additionally, two large ships carrying LPG and LNG have reached the port outer arrages to ensure a steady fuel supply. Efforts are being made to import fuel from sources outside the Middle East. In addition to the oil and gas in the pipeline, at least 3 people were killed, 15 others injured when a passenger bus lost control after a tire burst crashed into the island divided and bridges into the Kamariganda Upazila of Shirazganj. The accident took place around 11 a.m. in the Nolka area on the western side for the Jamuna Bridge. The deceased were identified as a bus driver from Jahangir Alam, son of Azuddin, the Goir village under Shahjahanpur Upazila in Bagura, Rocket the bus helper, and resident of the Srirampur village under Akelpur Upazila in Jaipurhat. And Rakhi Begum, wife of Monirul Islam of Shamsherpur village, Anja Belkuchi Upazila in Shirajganj. Jamuna Bridge West Police Station Officer in charge Amirul Islam said the bus of Bushra Paribohon was travelling to Mymensingh from Bagura when one of its tires suddenly burst. The driver lost control for the vehicle, which struck the island driver and became trapped near the overbridge, he also said. He added the driver and helper died on the spot dead, and while another injured passenger died in the way to hospital. A man named Imran Hussain Shohag was shot and hacked to death by miscreant of the Shardi Upazila of Pabna on Thursday night. Imran, son of Inamul Haq of Baghil, the Manabi Para village for the Upazila, was the convener for the proposed Upazila JCD committee. According to local, Shohag was with the friends at the tea stall in front of Shada Gonalpur High School in the municipal town when masked attack hacked him indiscriminately and shot him around 10:30 p.m. Before fleeing, he died on the spot. Additional Superintendent of Police, the Pranab Kumar, said the police reached the scene after receiving information the caddies were recovered from the spot. The body was sent to Pabna General Hospital morgue for autopsy. He said aiding they launched an investigation into the matter. A mobile court in Dinaspur's Nawabganj Upazila today sentenced 3 men to 1 year in jail after 6 horses were slaughtered and the meat was being sold as beef. The incident took place at around 10 a.m. at the Betalat Orta, the Gajipur area of Nawabganj Upazila. The convicted men from Netrakona, Nilphamari and Rangpur district. Nawabganj Upazila Nilphamari officer Jalilur Rahman said authority received information in the morning that several people were slaughtering horses or preparing the meat for sale. A drive was then conducted at scene where horse meat from 6 houses is seized. He also said 3 people were arrested over their involvement in incident and each was sentenced to 1 year in jail. The seized meat, weighing about 12 mounds, was buried and destroyed. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panta.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen,
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With Presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital.
Welcome back, and you are watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said a strike on civilian infrastructure wouldn't force Iran to surrender in a post on X on Thursday that was accompanied by an image of a damaged bridge. The Araghchi said targeting structures such as bridges only convey the defeat and moral collapse on an enemy in the disarray adding that Iran would rebuild any damaged infrastructure. US President Donald Trump earlier said Iran should make a deal before it is too late, posting a warning on his Truth Social platform. He also warned about striking and destroying bridges and electric power plants in Iran in his latest threat to hit the country's infrastructure. US President Donald Trump on Thursday confirmed US Attorney General Pam Bondi was removed from her post and said she was being replaced by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche in an acting capacity. The Bondi's removal followed Trump's frustration with her leadership, including that what he sees as a lack of aggregation in targeting his enemy and over her handing of Epstein files, the New York Times reported on Wednesday. Donald Trump was also concerned about her handling of investigative files related to the late financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a Truth Social post, Trump described Blanche as a talented and respected legal mind. The Blanche, a former federal prosecutor, was a lawyer defending Trump in his trial of charges stemming from hush money paid to a porn star. Russian President Vladimir Putin is spending much time on the escalating Middle East crisis, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on Friday. Nearly 5 weeks after it began with joint US-Israel airstrike, Iran continued to destabilize the region and unstable financial market, piling pressure on President Donald Trump to lead the conflict to a swift end. On Ukraine, Peskov said the country must withdraw its troops from area of Donbass that it is still controlled and that would allow to settlement. About 40 countries discussed joint action to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, Britain Foreign Minister David Cooper said on Thursday after US President Donald Trump was securing the waterway was other result. Cooper said Iran's recklessness is blockading the waterway that was hitting household and business in every corner for the world as a chair. The virtual meeting, which included France, Germany, Canada, and the United Arab Emirates of India. We are so much determined to see every possible diplomatic, economic, and coordinated measure to get this strait reopened, Cooper said. After the meeting took place behind closed doors, the discussions took place after Trump said on Wednesday evening that the strait could open naturally and it was the responsibility to countries that rely on the waterway to ensure it was open. Negotiations between Afghanistan and Pakistan are advancing steadily, China said on Friday following report that the South Asian neighbor were meeting their try to end the worst conflict since Taliban returned to power in 2021. China, which shares a western border with both nations, has been trying to mediate between allied turned foes, holding telephone calls for the foreign minister and sending a special envoy to visit for the March. Both Pakistan and Afghanistan value the welcome China mediation effort, and we are willing to sit down and resume talk. This is a positive development, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning told a daily press conference. Mao didn't say where the talk being held. Through the neighboring had previously said they were in the northwestern city of Urmi. China has been mediating, prompting talks in close to the communication with both sides to build suitable conditions, provide a platform, Mao said, adding that three countries would issue further information in the due course. Myanmar Junta Chief Min Aung Hlaing won a parliamentary vote on Friday to become the country's president, formalizing his grip on political power to the war-torn nation 5 years after he ousted an elected government. The 69-year-old general orchestrated a 2021 coup against administration of Nobel Peace Prize winner Aung San Suu Kyi, placed his under arrest, speaking widespread protest morphed into nationwide armed resistance against the junta. The transition from the top general to civilian president follows a lopsided election in December and January that was won a landslide by Army Black, part for the directive that cites and Western government as a sham to perpetuate military behind the veneer for democracy. In a live broadcast for the vote code in the parliament dominated by the election-winning Union Solidarity and Development Party and the military's quota of appointed armed forces legislator, former Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing comfortably passed the threshold required to win the presidential vote. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung and French President Emmanuel Macron said on Friday they planned to boost defense cooperation and work together to address the economic energy crisis triggered with the war in Iran. The leader also confirmed the commitment to bolstering energy security, including by collaborating to secure safe the maritime transport route through the Strait of the Hormuz, Lee said after the summit. Macron said after Friday's summit, the country, both major arms manufacturers, would strive to boost their defense ties. South Korea and France are due to sign a preliminary agreement to cooperate in sectors including critical mineral, the semiconductor, the quantum technology, nuclear energy, and wind power, Lee's officials said. Yemen's Houthi group said on Thursday it launched a barrage of ballistic missiles at the Israeli target in the Tel Aviv on a joint operation with Iran and Lebanon Hezbollah. In a televised statement, military spokesperson Yahya Sarwar said on a strike targeted vital Israel site had successfully achieved their objective without providing evidence or delaying for damage or casualty. Iran-aligned Houthis control much of northwestern Yemen, including the capital Sana'a, since late 2014. Syria had said the group military involvement would be gradual but would not slow at the current level, warning that future action would deepen on the course of escalating in conflict. He said they will not stop the level of involvement but will respond to future development according to level of escalation by de-escalation determined by enemy. The United Nations on Thursday warned that humanitarian situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo was continuing to deteriorate because of ongoing violence for the country's eastern provinces. UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric said at least 30 people were reportedly killed on Wednesday in armed act of the Bafua in the Iran's province, the Mambasa territory. He also said that brought the number of civilians killed there to more than 100 since March 11. The Dujarric said local humanitarian partner had also reported more than 390 abductions during the same period, while a new wave of violence had displaced even more people in a territory where more than 50,000 were already unprotected. He also added the widespread looting, including food, medicine, and medical supplies from health facility, had further worsened conditions. Before ending, we go through the SATV News headlines again. Government sets office hour from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Markets to be shut by 6 p.m. Prices of vegetables rise once again. You can hit Taka 800 per kg. Ship carrying 27,300 pounds of diesel arrived from Singapore. Two others carrying LPG and LNG reached Chattogram port earlier. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.